Hey everybody, and welcome back to another Reddit Ace War recap video. You can see we are facing, or just finished facing, Dark Looters X in the CWL Week 3. And they handled us very nicely, as you can tell. And just to talk for a minute, part of doing these recap videos is to gain exposure, to recruit, to show who we are, what we do. It's also to catalog the wars that we've had and see how we progress over time for ourselves and for everybody else that might be watching. It's also a learning opportunity for our members or for anybody else, so you can see what's going right in attacks, what's not going so great in attacks. That's why I don't always show perfect ones. I point out things that I see that maybe we could improve upon moving forward. And Dark Looters, they even posted something earlier when they had an opportunity to get a perfect war. We're not really worried about how we look in the community. We just want to show that we're here, we're growing, and there's not many RCS clans that are doing what we're doing. I think Viper is the only other one that's verified that is doing what they do in the MCWL. So I know some clans only do recaps when they win. It's just not what we're about. We're not here to brag and look better than everybody else. We're here to improve. And one day we will get to that point where maybe we can only show wins and all we do is win. But, stomping and randoms got really boring, and at least for some of us, and the direction that the clan is going towards this. And, in the beginning of this war, we held our own, and unfortunately we got a little demoralized when they started destroying us at the Town Hall 10s, to be completely honest with you. And people kind of let down a little bit, and hopefully we won't do that moving forward. In terms of replays, the first one I'm going to show you is JD. Again, he's the leader of Nova, our sister clan. His hit rate in CWL is incredible. He should have or could have had another 6-pack this war, but his second attack didn't go quite according to plan. You see he's running kind of that bell attack, but not quite. He sprinkled some P.E.K.K.A.s in there. You'll see why in a moment. He's just going to start with some funneling with the baby dragon. But yeah, back to hit rate. It's nice having JD. He finds a skeleton trap there. That's nice. That's a good find, so his loons don't find it on the back end. He's doing great, and just try and point out successes when we have them, because there are successes with us doing CWL. Nice wall breakers there. He's getting the wizard towers off with the golem, so then the wall breakers came in the other side. And typical, you see that kill squad with the bowlers. He's got a witch working behind it. And the witch really works when everything else is dead. She's so slow that she stays behind, and those skeletons end up aggroing a lot. So once he gets into the middle of the space that he quaked, he has a lot of open compartments for the bowlers to roam. The P.E.K.K.A.s are walking through. They'll take care of the heroes. They're just beating on the king right now. The queen's already gone, and there come the back end loons, dropping in 2 per defense down there. And all that he's got left is up top, that those 2 wizard towers and that Tesla. But he's still got the queen and the ability, and he's got the loons working from the south. So he really just needs his queen to reroute north a little bit from this point, and clean up wizards just went in down below. So once that gold storage goes down, he's hoping that she's just going to walk north. Yep, and there she goes. She should pick off, there's one, and take out that Tesla, and then should step around, take out the archer tower, and then that's pretty much all that there is for this base. Those loons are going to go down, but there won't be a problem not even using that queen ability yet. And the P.E.K.K.A.s are both still up. You see one down here with the wizards, and one just beat through the wall over here with that wizard. So unique attack. I like showing things that are a little bit different. The only thing that I think that he could have done better in this attack, and really there's not much that he could have done about it, is just that his P.E.K.K.A.s split down bottom. One of them went for the queen and the other one went for the king. But you can't really control those P.E.K.K.A.s. He's got them in there for the DPS, getting through walls and kind of tanking once those golems are down. It's like a multi-phase tank. Just takes care of the base really nicely. Again, JD is doing great in CWL, and we're happy to have him and all the members from Nova that are coming over to help us. Next up, number 20, Zayn. He's one of the guys from Syria. Our number 2, MJ, is buddies with him. And this was real early in the war. This was a fresh hit. He finds a corner Tesla there. Guy was not expecting people to come in from that corner, I suppose. The funneling baby dragon, he probably could have used something else there, and there he finds another Tesla. Nice surprise. This attack doesn't go entirely according to plan, but he does something really nice with the queen, which is why I want to show it. That test wall breaker is really good. He finds that small bomb, although the small bomb could have been a tile closer, I think, to the wall to be just as effective. But what do I know? And the bowlers were a little bit early. You see that they're going to go in front of the golem there. He could have waited, been more patient. But maybe it's good that he wasn't, because at the end he gets really close with time. So he's raging up those bowlers. He put a poison down on the queen. He double duty on that poison, so it was getting the queen and the CC, even though he dropped 2, which was smart because look at where his queen's going. If he hadn't dropped 2 poisons in there, I don't think the baby dragon would have gone down because there's no air targeting troops in the core, and his queen starts walking. Now, the queen's being targeted by that archer tower, and he's going to pop the ability so that they're going to reroute, and the queen's going to survive through that, which is really important to the success of this raid. And he puts in the loons. There's the haste, just to get him from that archer tower to the AD a little bit faster. And you see that queen is up circling the base now, and he's just sprinkling loons on the defenses surgically, dropping 2 or 3 per to try and keep them routing. Keep them routing the base the way that he wants to. He doesn't want all of them to go in the core. He doesn't want all of them to stay around the edges. So he's kind of got different phases working there. Now, this is where it was getting really nervous for us watching it. Actually, I think I might have been the only person up watching it late last night. The skeleton traps are doing a number. And there. But he's not going to get the last archer tower down. And you're going to see, I think my comment after this was just being comical about the queen AI and normally how she destroys your raids, where she'll sit there and beat on the strongest wall left, and instead of doing what she's supposed to do, does what you never expect her or want her to do. And there goes a lot of his cleanup troops with that giant bomb that he found, which is unfortunate. And he comes really down to the wire here. And what saves it is the queen is going to go over to that army camp after the gold mine, or the gold storage rather. And then thankfully we'll go for the archer tower instead of the town hall. So by getting that archer tower down first, she's going to survive, of course, and take out the town hall there. So a good job by Zayn, not as expected, but patient, and a good job with when he deployed those loons and used that queen ability to save the raid. Next is number 17, Shahin. He's another guy from Syria with Zayn, friends with MJ. They both did well this war, and this is kind of similar to that Bell attack I'm talking about, where you just quake the middle so you can get all the air defenses. Use some hogs. These bases were really good to give credit where credit's due. We were looking at this base and worried that there could be Teslas right here, and if there was a Tesla there, then your hog wasn't going to go straight for that air defense. Earlier on, we had debated the same thing about this, sending a couple hogs in on this, but then going, well, there could be a Tesla here between the army camps, and there could also be Teslas here and here, which would have a heavier DPS on your hogs, and they might not get the AD down. Not a fresh hit, so he knew that there weren't Teslas affecting that upper AD. So he takes out one, and now he's only got 3 more. He quad-quaked the middle. A lot of wizards working behind. They're going to take out these point defenses on the outer ring. Gets a couple witches in there again. Bowlers are coming out, looking good. Gets a jump. So again, really unique, using a jump and quad quake to open up this base and just keep everything behind the tanks. He's healing up. There you go. Heal up the golem, heal up the bowlers. As they're coming on to splash damage and potential giant bomb locations. If you look over by that cannon where the archer queen is, there could have been giant bombs in there, and if his bowlers stepped there, he didn't want them to pop. As he starts sending in the loons from the north away from where the point defenses are, down bottom here, where we're about to go with our kill squad, or main army, I guess you can consider it. He does find that Tesla up there. He's got a loon working on it just fine. And the Hound slows down this raid, but at this point the Queen's gone, the enemy Queen rather, so there's not much that's going to stop this. There you go, there's that giant bomb that was expected. Tanking those defenses now so he can just sprinkle in those loons, and this was a really solid raid by Shahin pretty late in the war. I think this was this morning. Just a really smooth, well-planned attack by him on a unique base, very long base. We thought about doing a drag loon on this and just using those hogs to get out 2 air defenses and then just straight dragon raiding almost from the northwest, but time probably would have been an issue there. Down to 16, we have Maah again. I want to show him, again, one of our most improved upon Town Hall 9s. He's been here, gosh, since he was a baby Town Hall 9, and now he's getting near max, doing good stuff, posting YouTube videos, looking at all the new strategies and everything, and he's got the P.E.K.K.A. Smash, if that's what you want to call it. Heard a few different names on it. The only thing that I don't like about what he did here is he let one of his P.E.K.K.A.s almost die there. You see it in red health there, and the healers come in raged, and they're going to heal it back up a little bit. But he waited a little long for my liking to get those healers out. And in this doesn't go perfectly according to plan either. There's some interesting stuff that you're going to see, but I like the pathing that those P.E.K.K.A.s are taking right now. So the bowlers are coming down. They're under fire by that cannon, which is kind of a problem. I should have pointed this out earlier, but that baby dragon down there gets about 9 buildings on its own. Once that Tesla comes down, it just circles all the way until it gets taken out by that AD all the way in the northwest over here. That's what's going to take that baby dragon out. So good job using that. He got, I think, 5 buildings already with it, and now he's got a second one working in there, and they just keep going around that base. Really good sight on that, partially a little bit of luck that there's no air mines in the way of the path that it was taking, and now you see them working together on that lab, and everything's converging now. And here comes the air defense that's going to pick it off right there. That baby dragon started around here and made it all the way to that side of the base, which is pretty incredible when it works. Got a little close at the end here. He was very patient with his baby dragons because there are 2 more air defenses left. He just dropped one up north. And he'll just save them because those P.E.K.K.A.s are looking totally fine, and the Queen hasn't even used her ability yet, nor has she been under fire for practically the entire raid. So it's just a matter of time before the base goes down. Kind of seems slow towards the middle end of the raid, this P.E.K.K.A. Smash, but if you can be patient and hold off with a couple baby dragons and really hold off with that Queen ability, by keeping her behind the tanks and making sure that she doesn't get targeted by the CC, or just feeling like, you know what, I'm going to be okay, I'll have the time later on in the raid, it'll be totally fine. And he pops the ability there just to make it, he could have swagged that ability and the baby dragon probably, but no need. Again, not here for show, we're here just to learn and get better and make an impact as we can. Now we have David, who is from Highly Active, and they're a group that's trying to become more, pardon the pun, highly active in the Elite War scene. So we might not be seeing them any longer, which would really suck because we like having them. But this was the first attack in the war, actually. He had to go real soon, so he wanted to get his first attack in as soon as possible. Interesting attack. He comes, suicides the heroes with a baby dragon to get the CC and the heroes there, and then he's got a Zapquake on 1 air defense. And what he saw here was just a pathing opportunity. He thought that it would be really easy to circle around the base from here, and this Tesla actually ruins what he was thinking would happen. And he acknowledged, there's the other Tesla that ruins it. He acknowledged coming in on that air sweeper, but without those Teslas, those loons would then be up by that wizard tower and the cannon around here, instead of being in the middle where they're just now suiciding, as you saw. So that's what happens when you have a fresh hit. You don't know where all the traps are, and he adjusts nicely. He still had the hound drops where he was expecting to drop them. It just was a little bit different in terms of the pathing that everything took, and obviously then his spell placement was different. You could just see everything working through the base totally fine. That hound is about to pop as there's not really much left to take care of those loons. So this is just going to come down to those pups working on that DE storage towards the end here, because the queen's up top circling with a lot of pups. So those center buildings are just going to be the last ones to go practically. And just a matter of time. Really good fresh hit. It was like the first 15 minutes of war. We saw the base and we talked about it in chat for a little bit. He came up with an idea, talked about it, made sure it was good. We're doing everything that all the quote-unquote elite war clans do. The only thing that isn't happening is just the execution every single attack. And part of it is the base building. Our guys haven't been forced to build bases every week, and we don't have a base building team, so we're just doing our best with what we can. Props to BME, by the way. Kind of a off week last week for her, but this week she had a 6-pack and did a really nice job. One of the few. I think I'll show them later if I can remember to do so, even though it'll be a long video. Just props to her. And this didn't go according to plan either, but it actually worked out. You see the king right there is supposed to stay with the P.E.K.K.A.s, and that queen ability was a misclick. And she's still going to do fine. You've seen this before with this raid where you can have a couple missteps and things are going to be okay because it is a very strong attack if you find the right base for it. So you'd think that these two air defenses would be a problem, but the bowlers are going to take care of one and the queen's going to take care of the other and then target those skeleton traps. So she did lose almost an entire healer there. I think it has a sliver of health left, and this is a problem now that they're staying on the queen. But the bowlers and the P.E.K.K.A.s took out the queen, the enemy queen rather, and there she goes to target the air defense, and there's absolutely nothing left at this point. So nice recovery. I didn't mention it, but you could have seen up there the sprinkling in of the baby dragons with the king just to speed him along so he's not tanking forever. But she hasn't even had to use his ability, so she's doing totally fine despite having a little bit of a misplay at the beginning of this. And you see the queen went down, but those two P.E.K.K.A.s are now with the healer. She still got a heal spell and didn't even use the poisons. I think she got thrown off when she used the queen ability a little bit early. And I should talk about it now. I was going to wait until I showed you my attack, but one thing that I really suggest and I've seen has helped me, and I think could help everybody, and she doesn't even swag the spells. See, we're good sports. We don't need to show off. Great job by BME, by the way, getting that 6-pack. Good for you. As we'll watch Tristan hit number 10, I just want to mention it quick. He's got a pretty standard Gola loon, and this was his second attack of the war. Just got a couple, picking off a couple buildings just for percent, get that corner hut. He's got that corner hut, and down here he could have dropped another one, but he doesn't really need to. Really wide funnel with the wizards, making sure everything goes fine, and he's going to jump into that queen compartment, of course, as he drops it. So back to what I was saying before with the drops and it kind of messing up BME's composure when something went wrong is if I'm doing, I plan for a base and then I ask one of the Town Hall 11s or 10s or even 9s, I don't even care. I just say, can you drop me a friendly challenge so that I can just practice my drops? And I'll attack the base with no intention of getting any stars, percent, whatever. I just want to put my drops where they're going to go on the base that I'm planning to attack. So I know I'm dropping it in this order, in this place, and I'm comfortable with that routine. So then when I get to the base and, maybe you're a little bit nervous because it's more of a high pressure situation, at least you've practiced it a number of times. And some of our guys don't really get that. I was practicing the hit number 1 earlier, which didn't go according to plan. That base was really solid. And then again, of course, the DLX guy goes, no, it's a really easy base. Okay, great. Maybe for you. So I was planning to hit number 1, and I was practicing with one of our 11s, and he goes, on this base, you should try doing this instead. And I said, well, okay, but I'm trying to practice how I'm going to hit number 1. If I was trying to beat your base, then that's great, but I'm trying to beat their base. So I think that that's something that we could benefit from, and that everybody can benefit from, is practicing drops in the correct order, in the correct place, so that you don't have, or at least you have a lower chance of misclicking. And you saw, I'm sure, Tristan just destroyed this base, even with his queen going down, rerouting from the king earlier. Really solid hit by him. And the last one I'm going to show you is me hitting number 2. This, I got pretty pumped early in the war because their number 6 hit our number 1 for 65% 2-star. And then I think maybe an hour later, I hit their number 2 for 66%. Had a little fun with that. Now, talking about scouting with this, I actually changed my plan a little bit. This is why I say that their bases are so good. The first thing that I'm going to look for is any free buildings. And in this case, there's none. There's absolutely none. This archer tower is guarding those army camps. This archer tower is guarding all of this trash around here. Can't drop a baby dragon there to get anything, nor would you want to, because it would get maybe a building. There's no places just to throw an archer. There's just nothing for free. And that's the first thing that I tend to look for when I'm hitting 10v11. I feel like they're trying to get you to not come in on this side with all the heavy hit point buildings. The new walls, all the splash around the heroes. You obviously have the bomb tower with probably a giant bomb right there on both sides, plus the splash damage. They don't want you to do a queen charge, so they've got the grounded expos there to really have heavy DPS on your queen. And here they've got that moat, this area here, that's going to reroute bowlers that you have if they're not funneled well. And this is not something I like doing, just this spam type of attack. But it worked for me last war, and it's worked for me this war. And I don't know that I'm going to keep doing it all the time, but it can work. It can work. So my plan was to drop 3 bowlers on this elixir pump to take out the mortar, and then 3 bowlers on this elixir pump to take out the mortar with a couple healers behind them, and drop baby dragons to take out this, and hopefully this. The archer tower would be targeting it, and then the air defense would be targeting it. But by that point, I would take out 1, 2, 3 buildings, and I would have a great funnel, because it would be just from elixir pump or elixir storage to elixir storage left, and my bowlers would go straight up the middle. And I had no problem spacing out my golems so that they didn't walk to the mortars. As you see, there's no free buildings, so I dropped those 3 bowlers and seeking air mine. Okay, drop 3 bowlers and seeking air mine. What are you going to do, But I got my funnel that I wanted. Those bowlers on the west, unfortunately, had to step up to take it out, but they did, and there's my golems. I opted to do a double jump for this reason. If I wall braked into here, if that's the right way to say it, wall broked, whatever. If I did that, then I would have my golems rerouting around to these defenses, and I would have my bowlers probably rerouting around to these defenses. And what I didn't want to have happen was trigger the bomb tower and then the giant bomb with my bowlers, because that's just going to take them out. So I opted for a double jump. I'm going to jump over here, and then I'm going to jump here so that my troops can only get to the CC. I don't want them to go to either expo. I brought 1 freeze so that I could freeze either this or this, depending on which side my troops were going for, and you'll see how critical that was towards the end of this raid. I had extra troop space, so I brought some goblins, because why the heck not? So there's my jump, there's my other jump, put my 2 poisons in a line for the CC troops and the queen and the king. I rage up my bowlers and my golems, and I save another rage for when I get about here. And there it goes. And there's the giant bomb as expected, but the healers are going to heal up the bowlers. And I freeze this side because my queen is over here. I didn't want her to be taken down by the Expo, the Inferno, and the obvious location for the Tesla. So, and actually this bowler down here is a big MVP in terms of percentage towards the end here. Queen's going to pick off a couple more buildings, gets targeted by the Inferno, but I haven't even used the ability yet, and there's only a sliver of health on that Town Hall. So I get that taken down. That bowler's going to take out a couple more buildings down there, save the ability as long as I can there to reroute that Eagle Artillery, take out one, and unfortunately not two more buildings to get the 66%. Really proud of that attack. Their rep told me afterwards, I don't know if he was lying or not, I don't really care. He told me that base hasn't been 2-starred by a Town Hall 10 all CWL, so felt pretty good about that at the end. My team, let's see who got 6-packs. Maah did not, unfortunately. BME did, and I think, Woody did, both on cleanups. And unfortunately, that's it. Dave did on cleanup. We did not. Our Town Hall 9s just didn't perform the way that they did. Even the war prior in the potluck, they did a wonderful job, and we had so many scouts. So props to Dark Looters for their good bases and their solid attacks. And actually, I should say, props to Jay for defending so many times. Let me just show that. Jay got hit 7 times, and only a few of those were by Town Hall 9s. I think he defended 2 Town Hall 10s, and he defended, I don't know if he defended a Town Hall 11 or not. I should have looked, but he did a great job. His base did a great job in terms of keeping them from getting that perfect war that they could have. Anyways, guys, we'll see you next week unless we have some really crazy war coming up. We just matched against somebody, Hybrid Top, and I don't know anything about them, but they did post that they have a YouTube and that they're a Fair Play War clan, so hopefully it'll be a good matchup, and you might see a recap video from that. So until next time, check us out on Twitter at Reddit Ace Clash, or our Reddit is also Reddit Ace Clash, and of course you can see us here on YouTube, and we're always recruiting Town Hall 9 to 11s. If you're interested in coming over, you can always just find me in Discords, Group Me's, anywhere, probably on the forums as well. Thanks, guys. Have a great one.